Hello, my name is Carly Bristol and I'm a coastal environmental science major at Flagler College. My first semester my freshman year, I was lucky enough to help with Dr. Saran on her dolphin research project, and Captain Zach said something I'll never forget, which was, "Come on guys, smile, you're on a boat chasing dolphins doing science." And this was definitely one of the reasons I wanted to work with dolphins. I wanted to keep working with dolphins for my capstone project.
For this project, my group and I focused on dolphin vocalization. This is a video from one of the outings we went on, and I just wanted to go over our 3 hypotheses that we had. We hypothesized that dolphins would be more vocal in larger groups, that dolphins would be more vocal closer to shorelines, and that vocalizations would vary between high tide and low tide.
Hi guys, my name is Haley Wilson. I'm a coastal environmental science major as well as a biology minor at Flagler College. Ever since first grade, when I was tasked with deciding my favorite animal, odontocetes have always caught my eye as the true mermaids of the sea. Cetaceans are the only mammals alive today to have evolved from the land and back to the sea, and they are known to have some of the most complex and intelligent brains within the biota also. The idea that there were organisms that could communicate and live in the water was absolutely majestic to me, which has since continued to spark more interest in this category as I have continued my education. From the evolution of the organs to the usage today in our local ecosystem, any chance in college that I was given to research this topic, it was always the vocalizations of these whales that were sparking my interest. Through the FWC permit, Dr. Saran and Captain Zach recently reached the 10-year mark on the photo recapture study of the St. Augustine's local dolphins. I was fortunate enough to contribute to the last 4 years of sampling at Flagler College. Through this research, I have had the opportunity to personally work alongside such inspiring and respected individuals. The process of collecting data, as well as organizing it and presenting it at the GTM Symposium with Dr. Saran, has led me to gear my senior research towards our local odontocetes, the St. Augustine bottlenose dolphin population.
Hello guys, my name is Jake Kellum and I am a coastal environmental science major at Flagler College. Since I was a little kid, I've had a deep passion for odontocetes. The summer of my junior year, I was fortunate enough to intern with Monterey Bay Whale Watch Center. I learned more than I could have ever imagined about the ocean and primarily dolphins and whales. So, when Dr. Saran allowed us to choose our own research topic, I knew exactly what I wanted to study. Carly, Haley, and I got together one day and tried to visualize what we wanted to study in the field and how to make a data sheet suitable for our research. Carly and Haley were able to apply their knowledge from Dr. Saran's dolphin research study, and I was able to apply Cascadia research I learned out in Monterey. Now to go into further detail about our methods. During this study, we used a hydrophone to record dolphin vocalizations, a GPS to record longitude, latitude, and time, a refractometer to record salinity, a depth finder to record depth, and a thermometer to record temperature. Beaufort State, cloud coverage, boat traffic, as well as how many dolphins were in each sighting were observationally recorded. We used a camera to photograph the animals, which would be used later in the lab for photo identification. Hydrophone recordings were analyzed using Audacity, a software program which allows users to edit audio. Each of the locations where we recorded a sighting was under the permit held by Zach McKenna within the Intracoastal Waterway and south of the Bridge of Lions. During each of our sightings, the boat was beached and the engine was turned off. We also kept a safe distance from the dolphins during each of our sightings at 20 feet. So, the top of the data sheet tells the initial info before leaving the marina. The columns named Code through Tide are what we initially record at the beginning of each site or survey. The columns titled Weather Info are visibility in nautical miles, cloud coverage percentage, air temperature, and Beaufort State, which is surface wind. Next, the columns titled Sighting Info tell the total number of dolphins in the area, the sighting number, the number of calves, and level of boat traffic, and the hydrophone recording number. Lastly, the columns titled Closing Behavior explain observational behavior, other species present, the dolphin's travel direction, and camera frames. At the bottom of the data sheet is a legend and abbreviated terms used in the field. Now looking at this graph provided from a recent research article on common dolphin vocalizations, Percent of time is observed on the y-axis and behaviors observed on the x-axis. The categories on the x-axis are the most common behaviors observed in their research, very similar to ours. Milling is more prevalent in our area compared to the article, due to the location of the article being in the open ocean. The intracoastal waterway is a more condensed area, so there's not much more room for the dolphins to show fast travel behavior.
This is accomplished through the usage of a specialized hydrophone, which was designed for specific frequencies from which bottlenose dolphins are known to vocalize as well as echolocate within. Originally, the plan was to gather recordings from both the local wild dolphins as well as the captive population, which is located at Marineland. But due to current circumstances, as soon as we were given the research approval to gather the vocalizations from Marineland's population, COVID-19 became a dire problem in the U.S., and our research partnership with Marineland was placed on hold. Nevertheless, my team and I were diligent in our research and able to secure over 45 minutes of recordings of the local wild population dolphins and other data throughout the month of March. These data collections were analyzed and compared with past published research in order to investigate our hypotheses and determine the types of vocalizations our local population of dolphins consistently utilize in St. Augustine, Florida. Our research took place under permit number 18182 held by Zach McKenna. Now Carly will offer a bit of background information on bottlenose dolphin vocalizations.
This figure shows 7 different click types labeled A through G. The column on the left shows the sound pressure level of each click. You can see that each click is unique, which suggests that it means something different in the way of dolphin communication. The middle column shows the frequency of clicks in kilohertz, as well as the amplitude of clicks. Red represents a high amplitude and blue represents low amplitude. Click occurrence appears on the x-axis, and we see that dolphins can make up to 1,800 clicks in just a couple seconds. This is one of the reasons software is needed to analyze vocalizations. Scientists have just begun working on a database to understand this new language. The right column breaks down clicks to show how many can occur in less than 1 second. The normalized count shows us that dolphins are making these clicks at a really rapid pace.
So I would first like to show you guys an image that reflects an ArcGIS map that I created to geographically visualize where the vocalizations were recorded and also the corresponding behaviors observed at each of these sites. Each colored symbol represents a different behavior that was observed during a vocalization. Red is for tail slaps, black is feeding, green is a fluke dive, yellow is milling, and orange is rolling. And as we can see on the map on the left, each of these behaviors were found throughout our entire site. And again, these behaviors were visually observed during each of the recordings. These behaviors were then graphed to determine which behavior was more prevalent within our St. Augustine Inlet. So this graph represents the counts and percentages for each of the behaviors observed during our vocalizations. We can clearly see that milling was the most abundant behavior observed at 27.8% of behaviors observed. But then we have in a close second, we have splashing, feeding, and fluke diving, which were all seen 16.7% of the time. So the reason why this is important is, according to previous published research, and one of the best dolphin biologists out there to me, Denise Herzing, a longtime dolphin biologist and some would say an expert to dolphin vocalizations, she continues to advocate that the best way to actually dissect the dolphin language is to connect and correlate and view their actions during these vocalizations recordings. Now comes the fun part, dolphin language. First, I will play a video from one of our research sightings where the hydrophone is in the water and a speaker is playing the sounds made by the dolphins in real time. Next will be a recording in Audacity, which is a perfect example of dolphin vocalizations, and later I will discuss the vocalization image in front of us at the moment. Now we will look at a screenshot from Audacity where one of our sighting recordings was uploaded. These images are of the same vocalization recorded, but the top image is represented through a spectrogram, while the bottom image is in wavelength dB. This recording was taken during visually observed feeding behavior that continued for 20 minutes. This recording concurs with other publishings on echolocation standards in kilohertz and duration, and also consisted of 2 adult bottlenose dolphins and 1 calf. In future research with more time, it would be possible to identify signature whistles, as more recordings of the same exact signature whistles are needed to accurately identify such vocalizations.
So for our discussion, if you're wondering why this matters, in layman's terms, it matters because dolphins are really freaking cool. Although scientifically speaking, our data matters because our data was leading to some really cool realizations. We found that dolphins are more likely to group and vocalize when searching for food. Our study started to suggest that dolphins fed in shallower areas, which was also when we recorded the most vocalizations. Interpreting dolphin vocalizations is similar to learning a new language. While we were unable to interpret our recordings, we definitely learned that vocalizations are more complex than we thought going into our project. Dolphins have clicks and whistles that each have a different meaning, and scientists are just beginning to understand the language of dolphins. From the 2 days we recorded, 12 recordings were associated with some type of behavior. These behaviors were feeding, milling, fluke diving, tail slapping, and rolling. We were beginning to realize that in order to understand vocalizations, certain actions and behaviors accompanied the sounds. It's certainly sad that our data collection had to come to an end, but we welcome the idea of others continuing our project and contributing to the mystery of dolphin vocalizations.
We want to thank our peers, Dr. Wojcicki, Dr. Vinstra, and Zach McKenna with EcoTours for helping out with this project and making it possible. We also want to thank the science department for these last incredible years and all the support they've given us. We especially need to thank Dr. Saran during this crazy semester and all the help and support and love she's sent to us.
Thank you guys so much for listening to us talk and also dolphins talk today, and we hope you stay safe and wash your hands during the rest of this quarantine. Dolphin Vocalization Group, out.